All right. Good day, everyone. This is CJ, and we are here delivering another edition of Rogue Coin. So I'm excited to be joined today by Crypto Z and Cowboy. These guys have been rocking it out in the trade room, all kinds of great results. So if you have not done so yet, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to turn it over to these guys. The only thing I'm going to miss today is not saying Frank. So wherever he is, but anyway, yeah. So guys, go for it. This is guys your show, so go at it.
Yeah, show's really it's not the same without Frank. We love having him on. So, V on the other hand, can't stand that guy. Not just
kidding. He's a lot of work.
No, it's V makes it fun. As a matter of fact, it's Friday. We've had a great week. I know Fridays tend to be and the weekends can sometimes be the take back Friday, take back weekend type situation. But the cryptos they're showing some strength. We're seeing push up in Bitcoin. I'm now seeing the manipulation that I think was going on the whole time. In the stock market everywhere, any kind of asset out there, there's always some kind of a manipulation. And in the larger ones, you're going to see a lot of it. And Bitcoin is the largest crypto. So, I think for a moment there, I was having like this disillusionment of, they're manipulating it and I could never make money off it. It's like, no, bro, they've been doing it the whole time. You made money the whole time. That's what I'm telling myself now. So I don't know, Z, how you feeling about things?
No, I feel it feels good. I mean, yes, there definitely is some manipulation. We did identify that obviously with those Mt. Gox dumps and so forth. There is a certain level of manipulation. However, it's feeling pretty good. I've got my ear to the ground and I'm starting to hear some big money things coming in, various hedge funds with large sums coming in. There was some talk about George Soros's hedge fund potentially looking at Bitcoin and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of interesting news happening right now, and it's tricky to really tell, what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah, Z and I, we deal with probabilities, right? So with Bitcoin, we do look at the big trends, and the overall trends do tend to work out. In the short term, you can really sort of prepare for whatever could happen. And even amongst manipulation, there's still some structure that can be followed. I'm going to make full screen the Bitcoin chart. And we're looking at Bitcoin on the 1 hour chart. Okay, so what we're looking at is there's a reversal trend that has been occurring since our bottom. And then we had kind of our second bottom here. The bottom I was referring to, I'm going to scroll back a little bit. Not scroll back, but widen this out. So back in February, way down here, we had our 6,000 kind of 5,800 dip. That was a nasty, nasty dip. That was when the SEC made their announcement, and then we had all the bullishness that brought us up to say 12,000. The price like doubled in a month or two, and then now we're back, to like this point here, which is close to a second bottom, about 6,400, and then we've been just trading sideways in this market. And what we noticed was that there's pretty low volume in this period, and the price had sort of become what. Now this is all theory. I'm not talking about anything I know. I'm just talking about basic ways that markets work. My theory was that they're keeping it above their cost basis. I think the big money, if George Soros says, hey, I'm going to buy into Bitcoin, George Soros probably buying Bitcoin 2 years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, and if it wasn't 2 years ago, it was 18 months ago or whatever. And the same with all these other people, the big money, they had to see this coming before most people saw it coming. So they probably quietly and slowly got in. I'm guessing they might have gotten it before or after 20,000, made some money there. But now that you have governments talking about it, and it's such a big thing, and I had a conversation with somebody else about it this morning, the way that it works with any new emerging market, when that emerging market begins to hit a sort of or it's showing signs that it's going to hit a critical mass and precipitate a wide adoption, the big players are going to see that coming first. They're going to get in, and then they're going to sort of kind of crush it down to where most of the speculators are going to get out. And then they're going to go ahead and get in big. Now that they know it's going to be big, all of the mobsters and banksters have tipped each other off that we're all going to let it go. I don't mean to put mobsters and banksters in the same sentence, or do I? I don't know, maybe. And then once they all make that agreement, then okay, Well, that could be that cost basis is somewhere around like the low sixes. It could be that like the big decisions were made, like, hey, we're all going to make this go. Everybody made the agreement. Now, if that's the case, and I'm really hoping it is, then we might kind of see an uptrend from here that looks like what we're seeing right now. And they may push it down further. It may go down to 6. I may be way off. Maybe their number's 3,000. Maybe it goes down to 3,000. Heaven forbid. But we did just the price did just hit the 200 period moving the EMA, the moving average. So that's a good sign where a lot of market people feel that 200 EMA is where the psychological burn of losing all the money is kind of wearing off, but the awareness of being able to make money is still there. And we hit that right about, let's see if I can bring up the EMA really quick. 1 second. EMA, I meant to bring that up before. Oh, my EMA cross, triple, double. It's a good thing I really use EMA, to be honest. Let's do EMA cross. No, you know where I can mess with it. I rarely use EMA. I'm embarrassed to admit. I use other moving averages, but the 200 period EMA is not something I use. Oh, here it is. I got it up already. Look at me. I'm already ahead of things. I just got to change the period. Inputs. That's the moving average. So it might be different from EMA. But if that is the same, this is the 200 period moving average. And we just pretty much start to cross right around here. But this is the major upturn. Right. So the EMA has been above our price on average for some time, but we see this big divergence from the downtrend, and it crossed the 200 period EMA right here. So, I mean, it's kind of interesting that you see this massive peak right as the 200 period EMA touches. I mean, I don't know. Coincidence? I don't know. So it could be that we are at the beginning of the the bull market for Bitcoin. And that's how I'm looking at it in the short term. I did create this morning. You can see my arrow started right here, and it's just following right along. We might actually drop and hit this point. At some point, we have this nice uptrend after this big bullish candle. So, the bulls keep kicking in along this trend. So it might be that the bulls like this trajectory, whether it's artificial, whether it's manipulation. A lot of times any manipulation is going to be made to look sort of natural. And if that's the case, then what I'm expecting is maybe a bump off of this trajectory, and then some kind of travel up to 8,600. It might be way over here. It might go a few ways until it gets there, but eventually I think it's going to bounce off this 8,600 resistance for some type of retracement, possibly down to this maybe 76, 7,700 range. And then maybe we'll start seeing another trend up. And that's just kind of what makes sense logically. If we go lower, I've got our supports down here that should bounce. So there you go. That's my read on Bitcoin. Z, do you have anything else?
So just reiterating on Cowboy's fact. So everybody was talking about the death cross, guys. So the death cross essentially did not happen because we were able to you had that manipulation where you had that giant green candle that essentially completely saved us from that death cross completely. Because as you see right there, if you actually look at Cowboy's chart right now, if you look at the left right there, you can actually see there's a clear bear flag that was there. It rocketed down that red candle down. It was trailing upwards, and it should have dumped the most recent time on the 9th. Yeah, right there. It should have essentially bear flag down, and it should have dumped down. Instead, we had this giant reversal happen. In which all the TA in the world stated that it was going to dump. So and if it would have dumped, actually, it would have essentially signaled that death cross. So I'm pretty happy that didn't happen. But like I said, BTC is unfortunately BTC still is very heavily manipulated, guys. And who knows how fast and how quickly these big banksters got into Bitcoin before announcing the news that they were going to get into Bitcoin, right? Who knows? It's tough to say.
I mean, if you're if you're listening to other channels, and if you like, say, Lynette Zhang or something, the big banksters invented it, and then they're going to have you buy in, and then they're going to stick some kind of alien wear into your skin, and before you know it, you're going to be controlled. And I mean, look, here's the deal. Did they invent it? I don't know. Can I make money on it? Yes. Can I make money on it? And even if it goes away, will I still have money? Probably. We're nimble. We do have plans that if the price does take a drop, we can take advantage of that as well. If you're, if you think it's going to be just all utterly destroyed and go away and someone flips a switch and no more Bitcoin, well, yeah, that's always possible. I think that if that happens, there are going to be some bigger things to worry about, like war, possibly. So,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like, that's an extreme situation. Z and I are prepared for a significant price drop because we actually will set our stop losses. And then when the price dumps, we'll buy it down low and then we'll catch money like we did this time.
Correct.
Correct. In the last 2 weeks, my portfolio, like my entire portfolio, has gone up roughly 40%.
Correct.
So, and a lot of that actually is because of a coin that Z called, and I brought it up right now, is WAN. And Z's going to talk about, what WAN's kind of all about, but I just want to show us the charts real quick. Z called WAN. Well, Z got into WAN in the ICO. This is one of Z's like kind of earlier coins. Z can tell you that story, but Z called WAN back around here in the 40, lower than this. I think he called like 41.
Yeah, 41 was the call for WAN in the room.
So essentially at the bottom, he called
yeah,
WAN.
I called WAN in the room, but I also gave it out here in the live stream, guys. We've been talking about it. There's two coins that I really, really like, fundamentally that are not that are not the most well-known coins. WAN being one of them, and then the second one being Ven. They're well known, but the mainstream person does not know them. So these two coins, and yeah, we called WAN at 41, guys, and it was a stellar performance. 100% gain.
Oh yeah, I went very deep. I was gonna say the nasty term for very deep, but I went very deep into WAN, and so what we're looking at is I Elliott waved, and we have pretty much your perfect Elliott wave on the way up since this particular run was over, right? So you had kind of like this Bitcoinish jump and then this big excitement. Then you have the beginning of what I think it might be back here, either way, right? We'll put it back here. So I think it actually is. So we had our first wave, we had our second wave, and then up to the third wave, and then fourth wave did not go lower than the first wave, so we're still validated. We went up to what I believe the top of wave 5, which begins the beginning of the ABC correction wave. So, the safe thing to do, there's a couple ways to do things. I held WAN tightly throughout this whole thing, and then I saw this ABC correction coming. Now, I wasn't sure where everything was. I've moved these a little bit. Earlier today, I had it like here, right here. But what it looks like is that this is our ABC correction. I think B is about right here, possibly. This is all very estimated, right? The market's going to do what the market's going to do. So potentially we might see a ride up to B right here. And if this follows Elliott wave without an extended fifth wave, then we may go down as low as right about the 72. Now, for those of us who got in 41, our cost basis of 41,000 Satoshi is so low that we can take the hit. And for those of us who think in dollars, when we got in when Bitcoin was about $6,600. It's now 8180.
Yeah, so it's been a staggering win.
It's been a staggering win. Like 60 to 80, that is another 33% rise on top of 50 to 80, which is something like 33%. So we're sort of doubled our wins in dollars, if you think in dollars. So our cost basis is so low. If we want to just hold on to it and let it go here before, because usually things kind of start going back up after you finish your correction wave, that's fine. Now I got a little bit risky and I sold right in here because I think we're going to go to B and then we're going to go down here and I'm going to rebuy back down here. And I used my profits. I took profits, which is a not risky thing to do, right? Like when I figured, hey, I rode this thing, I made buku. I'm going to take a small risk on losing out on a small amount of profits, and I'm going to try to scalp this thing. So basically, I sold right about here. I think it's going to drop. I'm going to set multiple buys in this zone right here where that square is. Maybe a buy here, buy here, buy here. And I did this yesterday in one trade. I made a nice chunk of change, and I was very conservative about it. So that's the short term plan. And that's what I'm seeing with Juan, and I think it's going to go up. And then Z, can somebody who actually knows what they're talking about with this coin, can you about what's actually happening?
So, as Cowboy and I always say, guys, it's tough to chart FOMO, right? If you actually look at Juan in terms of, because there's very many different types of TA. As Cowboy says, the way he does his TA, the way I do my TA are different. Sometimes, his results are on point, my results aren't, just like recently with BTC. But it all varies. And for right now, a lot of times before Juan did this third and fourth jump up, Juan looked like it was actually forming a head and shoulders, and the RSIs were heavily oversold. Everything in the world was going to say that it was going to drop down, but as we always say, you cannot chart FOMO. You cannot chart when people surge in and buy a coin, and that's what exactly happened with Juan Chain. The surge kept it alive. All the candle theory in the world. You were starting to see shooting stars. You were starting to see all this selling pressure, yet it blew through everything. So it's tough to say. Cowboys Elliott wave right now it is legitimate. This is the way Juan is supposed to play out, but whether it does play out is of course up to how big of the FOMO happens. For all we know, the three coins that they announced, they're supposed to have a huge announcement on the 16th. For all we know, the three coins they announced could be like life-changing coins, and this thing rises up another 100%. It's so difficult to tell, right? But we'll see.
Yeah, I think at least my plan, and my plan is essentially Z's plan. I think, Z, you can correct me on that, and I'll probably just follow you along on this one. But we're essentially planning to buy the rumor like we did at around the 40s, and then sell the news, which means whatever the news is on Monday. I've seen it happen so many times where the news happens and people sell it. They ride it all the way up and they sell it. Yep. So now, if we sell the news and all of a sudden we see a lot of bullishness, well, hey, buy back in.
Correct.
We're just kind of. We took great profits. So, it's better to preserve those profits against a large loss, in my opinion. And none of this is financial advice, and none of this is to be used for anybody out there to use for financial gain. This is purely entertainment purposes, purely educational. Past results, not indicative of future results. Disclaimer out of the way. For us, it's better to preserve such a fantastic gain and then maybe lose out on another gain rather than lose everything.
Correct. And as I always say to myself, at least I should say, is it's never bad to take profits. It's just simple as that. Profits are profits. It's never bad to take profits, right? There's always going to be another call. I have told this to some people in the room. I've been there with Neo rising up. I've been there with BNB. I've been there with WTC. I've been there with Cases. I've been there at the very beginning of all of these coins in which they did these incredible runs. And unfortunately, a lesser experienced Z sold early. And that's just kind of how it was back then. But instead of kicking myself, I was happy I had those profits. I made good money on them, and I'm moving on. And as much as I was thinking before, oh my goodness, this is, the last coin that's going to do that 100% run. The last coin that's going to do that 500% run. There was always another coin right after, and so, as much as I want to say one is going to be, the end all be all, there is going to be another coin, guys, that is going to be awesome like one, that is going to have incredible fundamental analysis, incredible sentiment analysis, and it's going to blow out of proportion. It's just, that's just how the market is.
Yep, exactly. I mean, there have been times when it's like, oh man, we missed this, oh, we missed that. It's like, no, there'll be another opportunity. There always is. And if say cryptos disappear, then maybe there's an opportunity in Forex. Maybe there's an opportunity with silver. I mean, I take my crypto profits and I put it directly into precious metals, and among other things. That's just good business. Good financial practice. You see that the most successful investors, they diversify at the end of the day, right? It's not like one person is married to cryptos or one person is married to metals or real estate or so forth. The best way to do it is just diversify. I mean, that's the whole name of the game.
Guys, that's great points. I mean, if you think about the existing system that's currently dying, right? The fiat currency based, and you look at the evolving crypto markets and everything it's evolving to. There's no doubt that it's going to change, but the most important thing is to take into consideration is that there is a new system that's evolving completely. So the sooner you get in the game, the better.
Nice. Yeah. CJ, I assume you're in the game. I think I've heard you say that at some point you had some PPT. Were you, how are you doing now? Are you pretty happy with things, or?
As far as my wallets and the things that I manage, because I follow the trades, but I'm more into it. I really like the utility aspect, and that's something that is just today I read, and think of this, okay? Just today I read that Yahoo is buying, I believe, up to 20 or 40% into an exchange in Japan. So it's amazing to see the amount of current existing models that are finally coming to the realization that crypto is not going to be banned. It's not going to, they understand that, hey, things are changing, and the sooner that we get in the game. So I'm excited about a lot of the tokens and the utilization, because I'm a big believer that is the future, that it allows us to get back to that transparent system. That if we think of like the old times when people would barter with like, a chicken or a goat or whatever, that's what cryptos do, right? Except for it's in the form of an exchange with a token that's pure, that you can monitor the transaction, you can see it flow through. And that's why I'm so excited about this space, is that I think it really allows humanity to evolve. And I know that may sound deep and everything, but I think it's important for our listeners to understand that, because I know there's still a lot of resistance. There's still a lot of people out there that it's the CIA, the banksters are getting into it. Well, so be it. It's a huge space to get into, and it's going to continue to grow. So yeah, so I'm very excited. And not only that, I see some of the comments. Like I'll get some of the emails, the people that are commenting either on our Facebook or our Twitter, that like, hey, these guys help me. Like I'm like up like 20, 30, 40% right now. And people who were hesitant at the beginning because they did fear the technology. People naturally fear things that they don't understand. That's just human. That's just being human. We all are somewhat that nature. So get informed, get educated. Join the crypto school. It's just so important right now to understand that the current system is dying, and we're evolving to something new.
Very nice, CJ. Yeah, we're stoked that you're able to kind of be in there with us. Although, we'd love for you to kind of come in there and say hello to everybody. I mean, a lot of people just kind of, they see you and V as like celebrities, and when V jumps in there, like people freak out. So feel free to come say hello to us, man.
Yeah, I will be in there real soon. A couple of other things that I'm finishing off, initiatives and priorities. But by far, like I said, I love, that's something we take a lot of pride in Rogue, is being solutions based. And V gave a very compelling, as part of one of our Rogue mornings, talking about that each one of us, if we're complicit in this, if we all just sit back and we wait for something to happen, we wait for that moment, and then we're still sitting there and we haven't taken the opportunity to get educated, to get knowledgeable around what the future is. And again, I think crypto and blockchain is such a huge portion of what that future is going to evolve to. Then we're guilty. That's on us. So don't be one of those that, like I'm kicking myself in the tail, like some of the financial opportunities that were exposed to me years ago that I was very resistant to, right? I think we're all guilty of that at some point. Now we're like, oh shit, I should have done that like 25 years ago. Look at me. I would have been doing this. Now's that chance. Now is that window. It's just that important.
Correct.
Nicely put, dude. Nicely put.
Absolutely. We're always telling people that, silver and gold, guys, we are big fans of it. I definitely know that, I'm learning a lot about it. I didn't know about silver and gold before. And, Cowboy, V, Frank, CJ, a lot of these guys are really big, metal fans, and I'm getting to know it. But ultimately, I, as a business person, right, I try to look to where, the money is going. And if they're, the gains are going to be, made in cryptocurrencies, I'm going to take those gains and then I'll use those gains towards buying metals. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But why be complacent in metals when metals aren't doing anything right now? And just sit right there. Why not just stack something and then buy even more metals afterwards? Just opportunity cost.
Absolutely. That's totally my philosophy.
It's opportunity cost, guys. At the end of the day, it's opportunity cost. We're not here saying that, cryptocurrencies is, the end all be all, and, it's going to revolutionize the world, and that's it, right? We do love our metals, and I'm just using my gains towards buying more metals. But now I can afford more metals because of the gains.
Yeah, think of those folks that still like have more than 3 months of money, fiat currency in their bank, right? So they're sitting there and they have maybe 30, 40, grand in a savings account, whatever, and they get that monthly statement, and they get to add in that 1 or 2, 3 cent interest gain on that on that money, right? They're like, oh shit, like it's still 2 or 3 cents per month that I'm gaining. Stop with that madness. Put your money to work. The smart money puts their money to work, their wealth. Again, I understand you have to pay bills. Maybe you're more familiar with, your online banking and stuff like that. But if you're carrying anything more than 2 to 3 months in a savings account, stop with that sanity. Take a little bit of risk. 10, 20%. If you don't feel comfortable doing more than that, that's fine. That's a personal choice. But more importantly, take that opportunity now.
Correct. No, absolutely. It's kind of funny. I actually just got a notification from Chase. They I guess they opened up this whole new savings program for Chase, and they're offering 0.01% interest rate. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, what are you guys doing right now? Like, what is that going to pay? Right? Like, how much fiat do you really think I have in which I can afford to put in a bank account, into one account only, and get 0.01, and that's going to really compound enough for me to live? Like, come on. It's just ridiculous. So, like CJ was saying, now's the time to really kind of hit the metal when it's hot. And it's here, guys. Don't miss out on it. If you guys have any questions regarding the trading room, we're not here really selling it. Just check out the live chat right now, guys. People are giving their experiences, how well they've been doing inside there. It's no joke. These are solid actual gains that the people are getting, and they're the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah, that's one thing, the proof is in the pudding. And we're going to talk a little bit about the fact that we are over, I think for the last 30 days, are we over 1,000% gain, Z? I think we are.
Yeah, we're over 1,000% gain, but, forget that, we'll get back into cryptos, but I just wanted to just let them know, if you guys have any questions, it's inside the live chat, guys. Just check it out. They're inside there, they're talking, these are live people. These are, our customers that are, just making life-changing money. But, back to cryptos.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to show this one because if I'm not mistaken, CJ, you like the social media space for cryptos. Is that correct?
Well, I like some of the cryptos that are more asset backed. That in other words, they have a product, they have something that they're legitimately offering. Because let's face it, there's some bad players out there in the space as well, right? I mean, we can't just deny and say that everything naturally is going to be a good thing. So I'm more into those that are kind of like, esteem it, something that's along the way of achieving some type of either product, some type of offering that is a realization that can be utilized almost in the form more of like, a token. So, I'm not sure if that's where you're going with it, but yeah, so I'm very much I'm a huge Steem It fan. I love the platform. We saw this week that Zuckerturd up on the hill, and, him trying to play naive and not understanding that they were selling out everyone's data. And I'm sitting there laughing because I'm like, we're all guilty of it. Like if you download Snapchat, any of those apps, we're all guilty of it. And not to get away from the conversation, but yeah, so I'm excited about, some of the other cryptos, some of those cryptos that, may have a legitimate product offering, something that they're doing to be constructive, very constructive in this space.
Dude, I love V's nickname for Zuckerberg. He called him Beta from Star Trek.
Have you seen the memes that are out there?
No, I haven't seen it, but I've been looking at his face like I don't, what does he look like? And he said Data. And, oh my God, it's Data.
Yeah, people have like completely dressed him up as that, and it's pretty scary. And I think that kind of some kind of segues into some of our conversation, because you witness some of the disconnect and the adoption rate that's going to occur in the cryptos is going to be massive here in the next 5 years. And you look at these people that we've appointed as leaders on the Hill, and they're interviewing somebody like Zuckerberg regarding technology, and they're asking questions that like 25 years ago would have been asked, like, tell me how are you going to make money on Facebook? What are your plans for that? And he's like, well, I sell ads. And they're like, oh, you do? So don't be one of those persons, okay? Don't be one of those people that are like late coming to the game, because again, with the trading room, and by the way, it's the cryptoschool.io. I know some people have a little bit of difficulty putting it. I did add it to the description of the video, and then also we're multi-streaming right now on Twitter, on Periscope, Facebook. It's there as well. Click that link right now. Find out more. Crypto Z Cowboy. Like I said, and I will start posting some of those testimonials where people email and contact me and say, hey, listen, these guys have made a difference, and no one's coming to rescue you. So now is a time to diversify, to invest, and take the opportunity, because this could be very preliminary, some of your future success financially.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. So,
okay. Okay.
Go ahead, Z.
No, I was just gonna say. Let's just get back to cryptos, guys.
Oh yeah, so with Steam, and we got Zucker Turd. So I think that like this is in the last 2 or 3 days, when Facebook was having publicly its issues getting on the news and things, and we saw this massive run up in Steam. So this is your Steam token, and for those of us who are interested in that space, what I think we're going to see is possibly a bounce down here. So these two zones right here, there's a resistance zone that it's currently at, but the retracement in this resistance zone is pretty extreme. In fact, your take and send is really taking a hard dip here. There is some bullishness in the MACD. It wants to be bullish. You can see the histrionics are getting shorter, but then there's like a point of inflection right here where they're still getting shorter, but they're just getting shorter at a slower rate, kind of. So I think we may fall through this support and into this area and possibly bounce off the cloud. Steam does like CJ is saying, Steam has a product already. There's some coins out there that have a product already. I believe that Dent is already up. Origin Trail, if it's not up already, it will be. Obviously, we have like Bitcoin and all the currency ones. There's a few we can name where you can use them already. Steam's one of them, so I do appreciate it for that reason. And from a TA standpoint, I think we're going to have a bounce off the cloud or close to it, and then we're going to start going back up, because pretty much all the indicators look flat to slightly bullish. So maybe something like this or something like this. Hard to say right now. I don't think it'll be that steep. So that's Steam. Z, do you see anything different there?
No, that looks good.
And I brought up Ven. Ven is one of the ones that we pretty much stick in. Me and Z have been fans of Ven a long time. We've talked about it on the show a million times. So just to draw a quick downtrend line, and what we're looking at here, there has been a pop up out of the longer downtrend from since January, right? So we've been watching it. This right here is an important resistance in this area. So I'll just kind of put it towards the bottom of that area. We still have to kind of fight through that a little bit. And the top of this resistance and the bottom actually coincides with this red part of the Kumo cloud. So really, we're in this tough resistance zone. What's interesting is that there is inside rumors, because we do not get inside information. That's not legal. But sometimes we hear rumors from people, and they're kind of insidey. And so if we can poke through this cloud, then I think that we're going to see, let me get out a quick fib on this one. we could count the rise from all the way down here, way down here. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I want to be conservative, right? So conservatively, and this is kind of quick and dirty, but conservatively, our targets for Venn before we see a slowdown after we break through this cloud start right about here. We could see 53 next. We could even go all the way up to say 58.
Yep.
So, those are the two, Fibonacci sort of areas there, but that block right here, I'll erase this Fibonacci. That block right here is where we can kind of see where the resistance is. It's got to go through this cloud. It's got to get through where all this action was. You have a kind of a top right here as well. So, that's where we're looking, we're watching, and we're in it. We as a room are in Venn. So, anything else you want to see on the cryptoverse, Z?
No, that looks good, guys, and a few things that you guys also to take in your TA that at least I use is I like to not only compare trend lines, and trend lines are one way of doing technical analysis, but you can also look at candle theory, and what I also like to look at is just general patterns in general, like just how patterns look along with trend lines. That's like actually my favorite way of making calls. Is essentially I like to look at does a pattern play out where it breaks out the trend line, right? That a lot of times gives me more solidification whether a coin is going to go up. So right now, as you can see from Cowboys trend lines, it's slightly breaking out, but on top of it, right there, you kind of see a double bottom right there. You see a nice little reversal right there with that nice W in the double bottom. And another indicator in which shows bullishness is that it's entering the cloud. Whenever a coin enters the cloud, it's starting to break its bearish trend, and it's just simple as that. Whenever a coin is below the cloud, the Ichimoku cloud, the Kumo cloud, it signals complete bear. If it's above the cloud, it signals complete bull. Right now, because Venn has entered the cloud, especially the 12-hour, which is a very long distance, it is now in that gray area. And that's a very good sign. On the shorter periods, Venn actually has broken out of the Ichimoku, the Kumo cloud, which is a good signal. So Venn looks good right now.
And Venn is broken into the cloud.
Yes.
So we have the red cloud right here that Z was talking about. I highlighted it. So once we start poking into the cloud, we're in a period of uncertainty, right? We do have also, that's kind of hard to see with all the noise in here, but there's a red line called the Kijun-sen, and there's a blue line called the Tenkan-sen. And when the blue line leaves the red line and crosses, because it was below all this time, but the blue line crossed right here. Now, it is a bullish signal as well. It's a weak bullish signal because this cross happened below the Kumo cloud. If we were above the cloud and this cross happened, then put on the rocket boosters. But still, it's bullish. Everything we're seeing on here, structure-wise, is bullish. And when Z talks about patterns and structures, he's referring to market structure. This is a sort of a double bottom on an ascending reversal line. Okay, so a lot of terminology for you right there, but you can kind of know you're seeing a reversal when you have a long downtrend and then all of a sudden you see higher lows, because you got lower lows happening here. That's not that would be bearish. When you start to see higher lows and higher highs, you start to form a bullish channel that kind of looks like this right now. That's your bullish channel that starts to form. And so basically you can almost expect this kind of movement in Venn. Now, it may not happen like that. Venn is actually very special. It has a lot happening this month. We could get a bunch of news like right now, and all of a sudden Venn just goes bam, skyrockets. We've seen it with Venn. One of the also telltale signs of a reversal is that in this area down here, where everything has seemed to be like kind of bouncing over time, here, especially here, you're getting into what's called the demand zone. And that's where people see the price get down to a certain point, and it's like, oh, that's a really good deal, and they buy. And it happened big time right here. This is a massive, massive candle. Went from like 32 to 42. So that's like a 30 1% raise approximately. And there's a lot of buying volume happening. So this is all great signs. We love Venn. And I'm probably going to watch it to see what it does. I'm going to see if maybe it kind of travels around in the cloud for a minute. The cloud can change. You can look at this cloud tomorrow. It's a lot thinner. Thinner clouds are better when they're red. So, but yeah, we're going to be watching and monitoring, and that's what we see right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we got. Z, did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about, or are we pretty much good for the...
Yeah, I mean, just overall, guys. Right now, the crypto space is being, there's a lot of attention to it right now. Just remember, guys, that the people that aren't aware in the crypto space, the average person who is working 9 to 5 or whatnot, who doesn't watch any of these videos or so forth, they're looking at their accounts right now. They're looking at Coinbase. They're looking now at Robinhood. Robinhood, released their crypto trading platform, and what they're saying is that, oh man, Bitcoin's rising up, right? And the overall market sentiment now is slowly starting to change right now, and that's what I've realized. I just went to the dog park yesterday, and I spoke to 4 people, and these people know that I trade cryptos, but they got all excited. They're like, "Oh my goodness, see, it's rising up. It's rising up. It's above 7,000 now. Like, oh, did I miss the drop? Did I miss the drop? Did I miss drop? Like, I want to get into cryptos. I want to get into cryptos." And the same way they're thinking is the same way a ton of other people are thinking. Thousands, if not millions, of people are thinking the same exact thought right now. Is this a time to get into cryptos? So just know that when cryptos pops, it really does pop, just like we saw, in December when you had that huge run up to 19,000. So, as I always tell my friends, don't wait till the last minute to get into this. If you're hearing about this, get into it now. This is a life-changing opportunity, and I think that cryptos are here to stay, just at least for a good amount of time.
Yeah, I'm with it. I'm with all of that. Again, I think like we talked about at the beginning of the show, I think the big money is buying in. The fact that you have the large players such as Soros and so on saying that they're going to buy in, I believe that should be read as, oh yeah, we're buying in now. We're just letting you know. Call me a tinfoil hat guy if you want to, but that's how I feel. So if the big money is in, if we've crushed it down to a certain level, I have a friend of mine who's in the financial world, and he told me like a week or two ago that he's been talking to people and they think it's going to be around 68, 69. And he talks to people who are in the traditional markets. And he said that he thought it was going to hover there, the people that he was talking to, and then it's going to go up from there. I would love for that to be true. If it's not true, then, Z and I we have ways of protecting our portfolio. Z and I actually made money on the way down. And we don't, we could talk about that here, but we have a lot of people who actually pay for that entertainment, and they pay for that entertainment by going to www.remaincalmschool.com. Okay. So there's,
or the cryptoschool.io, guys,
or the crypto, forgive me. That's the cryptoschool.io is really where you go. I'm just kind of using the old name. So the cryptoschool.io link is in the description, as Crypto Z said. You got 3 things here. There's the watch us trade. And there are some educational videos, entertainment, if you will, to kind of get you started. How do you use Slack, which is the what do you call that, Z? Slack's considered to be a platform, kind of like a social platform where everybody talks.
Yeah, it's a social platform, and the Watch Us Trade Room is where Cowboy and I are inside there. We're inside there, 16 hours a day, talking with you guys, answering questions, giving you guys updates and charts, what we see, what we're getting into, and all that good stuff.
So yeah, there's that. There's the crypto school. It's got some videos in there for people who really aren't ready to get into the Watch Us Trade. It's a one-time fee. I think it's $299.97, I believe. The Watch Us Trade, we actually are. It's a steal right now. So in the world of this, most of these rooms are like you would go in, and your entertainment comprises of people saying, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to get out there. I'm going to buy this coin at this price. And I'm going to sell at this price. They don't tell you why they're going to do it. A lot of them don't. Most of them don't show you any kind of charts, any reason why they're going to do it. They don't tell you about the catalyst, the market. And most of them certainly don't have a room where you can chat. You can actually talk to us and ask us some questions, maybe see what we're doing. Those rooms that don't have those things, they're like $400 a month to $600 a month. There's a real famous one. I don't know, some guy, some kind of hodl employee has it. You can't even talk to anybody in there. You can't talk to him. He's not even there most of the time. You know, put you in trades, leave you alone for 6 months, and you hold on to these dropping deals, and still they're getting all this money. I think it's criminal. But, you know, with us, we tell you what we're going to do, why we're going to do it. No, you know, none of it's financial advice. We don't tell anybody what to do. This is all for purely entertainment purposes. This room is not intended for anybody to use towards getting, you know, financial gain. And of course, the past results not indicative of future results. Disclaimers all aside, it's a great room. Entertainment is so worth it, and it's $150 a month for what, 2 more days? I think 2 more days.
Yeah, it's
100.
It's 150 till the 15th, guys.
So, and what that means is that your first month, anybody who gets in on the next, like today or tomorrow, the price for the first month is 150. After that, it's going to be 300, and it's going to be 300 for the foreseeable future. You know, it just depends on what our expenses are. If our expenses go up, we may have to raise it a little bit. So, you know, that is where we're at. So 300 for the foreseeable future. $150 is a steal. 300 is a steal. We're 4 times or 10 times better than any room out there that I know of. Seriously, like I don't know a better room. And on top of that, you know, we're up over the weekend. We're up a couple of 100%. Over the last few days, we're up a few 100%. We're slaying it in there.
And what's Cowboy? Can you just show them the Slack room? Just might as well show them the Slack room.
Absolutely. I got to switch my screen share here. Whoa.
But
That's
just
trippy.
but just real fast, guys. You know, we're not here. You know, we take your comments, guys. We're not here to sell you guys on this trading room. We're here to just talk about cryptos. And yeah, I mean, definitely check out the Watch Us Trade room, guys. You know, that's just, you know, we let the results speak for themselves.
Absolutely. This is like you know, this is the trade room. If you guys can see that, Z, are you able to see that?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going through here is I don't want to go too far because I give away free stuff. But you know, what you're looking at here is some of the different calls we've made. You know, this is I'll go back to some older stuff. This is one of the calls I made on ADA, which just I think we went up 10-20% a couple days. You know, this is another call that Crypto Z made, one of his charts on ADA.
And just pay attention, guys, just to the timestamps. That's what we always try to, you know, hammer down. It's not so many times about the calls. It's just the timestamps, guys. We're always inside there. We're always in there answering questions, and you know, that's just simple as that. I just like to keep it. I keep it simple, you know, with the selling.
Oh, yeah, look at this one. Crypto Z, 12:11 a.m. Crypto Cowboy, that's me. 7 something a.m. You know, that's you have and most of the times he's in there till 3 or 4 a.m. And you know, I'm usually in there by 5 or 6. That must have been like a Friday or Saturday or something. So yeah, we're always there. It's a great room. And here's the thing about it: it's a rogue community. It's really fun. You know, you're in there with people who are rogue people. You get to actually know the community, because usually, you know, we're all just kind of listening to V and talking. You come in here and get to know us. You know, it's a lot of fun, guys. So any CJ, what do you have?
Yeah,
any?
great job, guys, today. Crypto Cowboy, Crypto Z, great intel. You know, applaud you guys, and you guys are doing stellar work. So keep it up. For our rogue fans, they're absolutely right. Do not fall victim to any of the parade that's out there. Just a couple points, real quick. You know, here recently, you know, on Facebook, I have been contacted at least by 5 or 6 people that send you a friend request, and then all of a sudden they're starting to ask, do you deal in Bitcoin? What's your wallet address? Whatever. Do not fall victim. Trust the people that you know, and that's the cryptoschool.io, a rogue program, rogue endorsed, rogue sponsored. And then I also read a lot of the comments, and people comment, well, you know, why do you say, you know, it's you know, entertainment purposes, and that, you know, we're not offering, you know, financial advice? Well, guys, that's the legacy people that hate cryptos, that we have to provide that information. And look at it this way: it's more of an educational tool, educational resources to help you navigate through the crypto space, because it can be, sometimes it can be a little bit you know, confusing or to understand. And that's why the education, the training, all the information they're providing at the Crypto School is so important. So Cowboy, Crypto Z, great job today.
Oh yeah, man. We, you know, I know I am honored to be here. I'm honored to have every single person in that room with us. You know, it's just I can't even. 12 months ago, if I could say 12 months ago and know that I was going to be here, I would be flipping. So today I'm flipping. I love this, you guys. Thank you all so much.
All right, everyone, that's it. Everyone have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, thecryptoschool.io. Sign up. Lots of different services, programs offered. And I'll be joining soon, so you'll be seeing me chatting away with you guys. So I'm very excited for this. So everyone have a great weekend and take care. This is CJ, Crypto Cowboy, Crypto Z, and we're over and out. V, I hope you're enjoying yourself wherever you are. Bye-bye.
1000%.